What a year. I think it's pretty safe to say that most of us are ready to say goodbye to 2020. I'm no exception. This year has been challenging to say the least. Some would say the worst year in history, and I'm not sure I'd go that far. I think there was a lot of things that I got out of this year that was profoundly positive. I viewed this whole thing through my own lens, as we all do, and while I've seen so much um, heartache and sadness and fear in the world this year, I've also seen a lot of kindness and hope and connection. And if anything, I feel that on this, the last day of the most fascinating year that I've lived on this planet so far, I have never felt more ready to make a shift. And I don't think I'm alone. I think maybe perhaps if you found me here, that you resonate with that a little bit too, that we all feel like that to some extent at the end of the year, that a new year is an opportunity, it's a clean slate, it's an excuse to start new patterns, to try and break old habits, to reset. We eat a lot during the holidays, we go overboard, and at the end of the year, we tend to reflect on all of the things that we didn't like about that year and get ready to say goodbye to it. But this year is even more profoundly obvious for a lot of us that we want something different, we want something new in the new year. And so it is an opportunity. I think that's prevalent in the conversation in our society right now, that we need to take the challenges of this year and turn them around and find a new way of doing things, a new way of looking at things, a new way of being together on this planet. I think for me, above the injustices and the health scares and all the rest of it that we have experienced, I think the most challenging thing I have found is the polarization that has happened in our culture, and the way that it has become so obvious what side of the fence people are on. There's almost this desperate need to pick a side in everything because there's so much noise. We're all so aware of everyone's opinions, social media, everything's in our face. And so in order to stay sane, it's tough to maintain some sort of gray area opinion on things because it seems so unstable in such a charged ideological environment. And it's really sad because even some of the closest people to us have suddenly become estranged in some cases because we just can't agree on what feels like fundamental viewpoints about how the world works and what matters. In my life, I have always been motivated by shoulds. I think all of us can probably relate to that to a certain degree. But to me, I was raised by incredible parents that really put an emphasis on consideration and respect and acknowledgement of other people's expectations. Follow the rules, get along, don't step on anyone's toes, be likable. These have always been in the background of how I approach the world. And there's certainly all kinds of merit to that. I do very profoundly care about other people, about how my actions affect them, and about what their opinions and ideas and viewpoints are. It's helped me in terms of communicating with other people. In my profession, it's profoundly beneficial because I have a skill at understanding the viewpoints of others and the expectations and how to meet those expectations, how to express myself and act in a way that aligns with those expectations so I feel heard and acknowledged. And I help my clients too, as a resume writer and marketer, to do the same, to understand how is it that their potential audience sees the world, what their priorities and needs are, and how to fit into that within the context and framework of who they are and what they bring to the table. The challenge with that is that I have a very hard time understanding myself outside of that framework and staying true to something within that isn't motivated by my desire to meet the expectations without. However, as problematic as this already was, in the world that we are living in today, this year especially, where there are so many opinions and so many expectations and so many viewpoints to weed through and understand, it's impossible to meet those expectations because, number one, they're changing all the time. And number two, if you try and please one person, then you piss off a million other people. And it's very obvious when you do so. So being guided in your decision making by trying to evaluate all these perspectives and do what you should do is impossible. And it has quite literally driven me insane this year. This year, I have developed a panic disorder. And for somebody who has always been very free-spirited, open-minded, go with the flow, and confident, this has been a very significant life lesson, a platform for me to really explore this challenge of trying to meet everyone's expectations and live my life according to other people's criteria. So, having said that, I have decided that this year is going to be different. That in terms of setting a New Year's resolution, it is not going to be towards any specific goal or any particular area of my life per se that I want to improve. And I am not going to improve the world at large either, because that's not my jurisdiction. And I think as a coach, I've had to recognize that none of us hold the answers for others. Being a coach, your authority isn't in finding answers for other people, but in helping them use tools and techniques and energy to find a place where they can trust their own voice within. They can follow their own guidance that's already ingrained within them. And I think also, as a coach, in order to gain the respect and trust of the clients that you're working with, they need to feel a connection to you. They need to trust that at some level you understand what their experience is, and that what you are saying isn't just coming out of a textbook, and it isn't just lip service. So this year, in order to become a more effective coach, and more importantly, to become a more centered person, a happier person, somebody who walks the talk, I am going to use this platform to create a community in which we can share this process together. I think many of us at least have the intention, or some part of us want to be able to take this year by the reins and make something truly special out of it, to use all the challenges and conflict and emotions, deep emotions that we have been going through for fuel to something better. And in the end, that's what evolution is about. It's about moving forward and taking the experiences and contrasts of life and turning them into something better. So I would like to think of this as not just an exercise of vanity. I would like to think of this as an opportunity to be vulnerable, because that's how change happens. When we open up something and find those raw parts in ourselves, that's the fertile ground in which we can make a shift. And I would like to do this through the lens of allowing, of not pushing the noodle, of not trying and grasping to manipulate this into something just for the sake of solving a problem or for feeling better. I think we have all, through the contrast we've experienced over this past year, have really ingrained in us, consciously or not, things that we really desire, changes that we really want to make. I don't think we need to create any new goals. I think they're already there. I think we know what they are. And I think if, at least for me, if I'm able to relax, quiet my mind, be kind to myself and to others, then it'll be easier to hear that voice within that is telling me what the next step is to take. And I don't think we need to see what's at the end of the road. It's like when you're on a dark highway at night and you've got your headlights on, all you need to know is what's in front of you. You don't need to know what's a mile down the road, because you'll deal with that when you get there. So my intention this year is to share, to be accountable for this promise I am making to myself and to you, to develop a community that can feel safe about being vulnerable as well, and to go through this together, because we are all in this together. My husband would roll his eyes to that because it's become so cliche. But I think that is the most beautiful thing that has come out of this crazy year, is that it has connected all of us. And even though there's a lot of noise, a lot of din out there to weed through, I think if we are true to the voice within and are able to express that and own it, then we'll be able to draw in the people that resonate with us. We'll be able to vibrate together, so to speak, with the people that can really benefit from what our voice is trying to say. And we can help each other through this next chapter. So I encourage you to come with me. I'm not sure what this will look like yet, but I intend to share a few days a week where I'm at, what my particular insights were that week, challenges, results. I have all the same type of goals: get healthier, get happier, get more balanced. But I don't have anything set in stone. I'm going to, as I said, allow this to unfold as it does. And hopefully in the process, give you the opportunity, the space, a safe space to do the same. Let's make this 2021 the best year. I think we've never had a better opportunity to do so. Thanks for listening.